Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us. This is ProBiz Africa, where we have interviews with professionals and business people in Africa. Today, we have a very special person. He's a professional, a dentist, and an entrepreneur. He has a construction company. So, this person is very unique. Please, can you just give us a brief introduction of who you are?
Thank you. And thanks to your viewers as well, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be given opportunity to speak to you. You're a special person. You're also a busy person. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So tell us about who are your name, introduce yourself, and what is it that you do?
Oh, okay. My name is Simple Justice. Very easy name to pronounce. Gazide is my surname, which is derived from the Zulus. Gazide, Gazide,
Okay. Okay.
So we have that background. My background, I was born in the Mpumalanga region, Nelspruit. And I was raised there, which is beautiful, small country for tourists. We've got Kruger National Park. It's a beautiful area. But I think that's where I come from. And then I studied there, studied my primary level, at that level. And I moved to university at Medusa back then. But now I've been a dentist for 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. So that's my short background. I think that's good enough at this stage. Thank you.
Okay, so there's so many, you could have been a lawyer, you could have been why did you choose to be in that profession as a dentist? What inspired you?
Look, there's always a small little trigger in life. Yes, I remember I wanted to be a lawyer for some reason. I think it was a popular profession back then. It was a very fashionable one, being a nurse, being a teacher, and a policeman for that matter. I had a best friend, a very close friend. His brother was pursuing dentistry at the time. I think I was at the high school. I think maybe I was about 14, 15. So he looked cool, eh? He looked cool. He was a brilliant guy. So he was a proper role model to us. So I felt that, hey, why can't I follow him? So in the society, that community that we're from, that small community, I think was a proper guy. We looked up to him. And then, so I think many dentists, I felt that you'll be able to have time after hours as compared to medical doctors. You might be called after hours. So we don't have images, so you're able to pursue other interests if you have. You're able to juggle Thank you. You're able to run things whatever I want to do, especially after working hours. So I think dentistry became a good fit for me. And then I loved it. I'm enjoying that ever since.
Okay. If you look at being a dentist, a lot of people don't even think about coming to check their teeth. People don't even care about what's happening in their tooth or in their teeth. Can you give us an advice for people who don't even check?
Look, it was mainly awareness. I think we are fortunate enough in this country. I think there's lots of awareness about there's advertisement on TVs, there's word of mouth. And funny enough, I think the diet that we embarked on, we consume lately, or in this new I'm trying to say
new era.
New era, yes, new era, because of I think we consume and there's lots of sugar, and then that has lots of effect onto our teeth. So irrespective of whether I want to stay at home, you are bound to come because of it's gonna wake you up. They damage a lot of our teeth, especially acid food. We consume lots of acid food. We've got so I think that's the main problem. People come now. Everyone I think has got a problem. I think every next person has got a problem, and then we push or we insist that every human being every 6 months must consult.
Okay.
Just to do normal oral hygiene, cleaning as well, just general checkup. We schedule, we check, we advise what needed to be done, and then you see there's lots of kids now that are interested in orthodontical treatment. So they bound to come because now this is very fashionable. Now you can see, I think there's lots of advertisement in the country. It works easier for them It works easier for us. It works easier for everyone. So I think now it's been known. I think every second person knows about it, about us now at this stage.
Okay, beautiful. Let me ask you something. You know, there's sometimes maybe a man or a woman who has a bad breath. You know, the breath probably stinks or things like that. Is there a solution to it? Is there something that can be done?
True. There is a solution. Look, there could be many causes. There can be lots of issues behind it. That's why we normally ask you to come through. We check out, but usually it's quite common is that people don't necessarily do the cleaning. There's a plaque build-up between the teeth. They don't floss. Food can get impacted between the spaces, in the spaces. So you get to see a lot of that. There could be halitosis through maybe the tonsils. There's so many things or any underlying conditions in the system. So there could be any underlying. So we just come in, we just do the screening, we do full checkup, we'll advise. But usually we do the cleaning part of it. We do scaling and polishing, where you get to be taught how to look after yourself in terms of like flossing, brushing twice a day, and all that. But usually it's easy to treat those problems. As long as you come regularly, we are able to pick up those problems.
Okay. So if somebody wants to come over to maybe somebody who has a bad breath or somebody who wants to check whatever is happening in their mouth or their teeth, where are you based? Where are you people based? Where is
me personally, obviously, we're based in Boxburg, Gauteng. It's Medicare 24 in Boxburg. We online. You can always Google us. You can make appointment online as well. There is a website for that. So yeah, and we also refer. If you're based in other provinces, we also refer. Funny enough, we also receive people from New Zealand, Australia. I think South Africa became a good destination as well as compared to other countries. I think we're reasonable. Our prices are way reasonable. I think our root canal treatment ranges about plus 3,000 rand, as compared to some countries like Australia. I think you can get it for 20,000 rand. So I think it's very and similar procedure for that matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it works better in this country.
Okay, so somebody who is maybe in high school now, it's going to be out of the high school and wants to pursue a career, what advice would you give that person?
You just have to put your head onto something and stick to it. It's a beautiful career. Every career has got its own challenges. You always meet tough times, so you can create the best out of it. So it's all about hard work. Keep working hard. Listen to your parents. That's all.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, you also have another portfolio, which is construction. You have a construction company.
Yes.
Your life is beautiful. So you also have another portfolio, which is you have a construction company. So you are in that industry. How does that work? From being you are here and then
very interesting. I think my background, as I indicated, I grew up in a small town, like I said, in Mpumalanga. I had interest. I was an entrepreneur, I think, from way back. My mom had a spaza shop.
Okay.
Yeah. So we sell bread, basic stuff in that community, basic needs of that community. So I assist a lot. So it kept me going. I used to count monies around that, and I was a reliable boy, so I never stole anything. That was me that time. And then so I moved on. I went to practice as a dentist, I think, at a government hospital. So I thought I had lots of time. There was lots of time after school. I'd practice, and then after work, I think there was just nothing. Then unless you want to do extra, pursue other careers and all that, or additional studies or masters or something like that. And then so after a year I went private, opened my own private practice, and then so at the same time where I relocated to Ellis Russell, particularly Ellis Russell Palane. I think they had the housing there were old, quite old, so there was lots of problems. They were experiencing lots of blockages, plumbing issues, electrical issues. So every week you'll have to have somebody and expect to come and assist you. So I felt that why can't I have, because it was difficult to get hold of them at times. maybe because of there were not enough in that town.
Okay.
So I felt like, look, why can't I open my own? So I had to recruit three guys that had the knowledge but had nothing, they had no resources.
Okay.
So I felt like, look, if I can put my resources, because I had a little amount, a little money that was on the side from my practice. So I managed to able to buy a small buggy, acquired all this equipment and all that. And then, yeah, look, we started working well. I've started before, I didn't make it for money. I thought I just wanted to see how it goes. Funny enough, it was doing well. Then I made it for money, I registered, because we are required to register our companies in the country. So I made it for money. And then I started applying for more jobs. And then, yeah, we were lucky enough to participate in some tendering system somewhere in Limpopo province. I won't mention the companies at this stage, but yeah, we got a good project there. And then the numbers start growing from, I had three guys in the beginning, and then we moved. And then all of a sudden there were 20 people. At some stage we had 80 people. So I think that was good for me, because I was helping other families to feed their own families as well. So it was good for me, but at the same time it was a difficult one to manage between the two, because now this started growing. Now I have to take out some time from my practice. So now at least I had to appoint somebody to help me at the practice. So I'll be able to attend this side and the other side. But it was very tough for me. And then, yeah, but it was brilliant for me working with lots of people. It was very, very exciting. And then, yeah, I got used to it. But it came natural. Because I felt it was good for me to do that. Because I think I put my mind, when I do something, I put my mind, I stick to it, I fight for it. Irrespective how hard it is, I just keep going. So I think, yeah, it's been, we now, I'm talking about 2007, where we formally registered, up to date. The company still in existence. I think we're still active, we're still running.
That's
and
beautiful.
we've done a couple of projects. Thank you so much. Yes, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the government role in construction? For example, now we're having issues that the people that are called construction mafias,
Yeah.
who, when you get a project, it's very difficult for you to execute because of some of these mafias that are in the industry. What do you think is the government role? What
Yeah.
can we do to
Look,
enhance
it
the industry?
it is scary. It is scary. I think our government just has to enforce the what to call the rules and regulations in the country. They need to stick to it, and then we need to stop corruption. People must be arrested. If somebody does threaten somebody and there's evidence to that, the government must act and harshly to that, because of you're so opening is a kind of firms that is gonna be out of control one day. The sooner the better. So we need to enforcement agencies to run and attend to that, because of construction. I know that most of the guys that I know, they're innocent people. If you apply for project, you get project. Now somebody comes behind and threatens them. Who has to help us? If the government doesn't come into the party, I think it's gonna be tough. And then now I think it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be bad. It saddens me. It never happened to me at this stage. I just heard of it, but I think the government has to act accordingly. And then I think to stop. I think somebody knows these people. So it's all about going after them and ask what causes them. I know within the third world countries, things could be tough. Other families, they rely. So look, but that's not an excuse. People must account for their loss. I think that's all.
Okay, beautiful. Where do you see your business in the next 5 years, 10 years? Your practice and your construction company, where do you see it?
Look, Pastor, we're growing every day. Funny enough, we're growing. Yeah, it's to empower. It's to empower certain people. It's to look in your area, your community, empower. You can't be there all the time. You get tired. The energy that I had back then, it was so amazing. I would drive 500 Ks this morning, in the evening 1,000 Ks, collecting, trying to make things happen for our company. But it's tiring at times. So we need the young blood to keep that engine running.
Okay.
It becomes so you need to empower either whether family member or whoever you think that is good enough. You have to identify and let's educate our people around it so that they can be professional when it comes to that. I think it's for me is to identify certain people. I've identified people already to try to work with and then to see if they can get sales in the company so that they can inspire them and all that. Because obviously one way or other is to retire at some stage and then and to see the number growing, number of projects growing, and to keep working relationship or be ethical at all times. The practice wise as well is similar. Obviously, there's my kids not interested at this stage to follow my profession. But look, you can't force them. But you can always have expand. You have what to call associates working together because the obvious experience you don't want to let it go. You always want to contribute. There's young dentists coming in now. Some of them they don't have enough capital to start their own practices and all that. So you can always have a relationship, working business relationship in that space. So there's much to look at, but we'll see how it goes. But it's to empower many people as much as you can. Because of Africa, if this to grow, we just have to look after China.
Okay.
Yes.
There's this bank called Afrexim Bank. They are trying to fund a lot of projects in Africa. There's a lot of funds also coming from Europe, trying to see how they can fund a lot of projects in Africa. So now, if we talk about construction and you talk about your practice, do you need funding for your construction? Is there funding that is required? Do you really need funding for construction? And if you need, what volume of funding are we talking about?
Look, I think maybe depending on the scale of the project people have, funding is very important. It's very important for every project to survive and sustain itself.
Okay.
Sometimes the requirements are quite maybe a bit stringent, but sometimes it's difficult to meet them. I've been tried with them. I head of DBSA as well, especially when it comes to agriculture and all that. They are very helpful, but at this stage, I think we normally try to keep as much as we can on the side, and then we've got a couple of small items that we can use as security to get funds. We've been using the banks and all that at this stage, but I really support that initiative. I think it's a good thing. But at this stage, we haven't been in that need at this stage. I think we're able to run. Maybe because our scale of projects are not so massive, we are able to afford at this stage. But obviously, we'll see. We can approach them if something big comes up. Yeah.
Okay. The current population of Africa is about 1.4 billion people. That's based on the latest United Nations estimate. So what it means is that African with 1.4 billion people, it means that African can consume any product that they, whatever product we have in Africa, we have the market to consume it. So whatever anybody that does anything that you do in Africa, you have the market for it. How do you see your business in Africa? Having this practice in Egypt, having it in Kenya, having it in Nigeria, your construction company, how do you see getting it to Egypt, getting it to Kenya? What do you see? Because we have the market for whatever we can produce.
That's a beautiful question now. Comes to now the background, the history where we come from as African people. Look, everyone will want to work together. I had an interest in Zambia in particular.
Okay.
There was a good project, wanted to go in there. And look, it is difficult at times, especially for small companies to penetrate the market in that space. I wouldn't say corruption, and I wouldn't say there's always some gatekeepers that you have to pass through and all that for you to get to that point. It becomes difficult. If you are ethical enough, you want to be, because we need to go that space. We need to be professional. Certain people must just let it move. And it's not about your stomach. You must look at the future. If we don't look at the future generations, I think we're not going anywhere. Africa, for me personally, if we're to unite, it would be a beautiful thing. We just have to work hard, all of us. It mustn't be seen one side is a little bit holding less and the other one is quite heavy. So we need to come to the party and we merge and we start trading amongst ourselves. Look, having business in Zambia for me to be good. Even the practice as well. I think I was supposed to open one in Botswana.
Beautiful. Okay.
It's supposed to be easy to access in the country. If I want to go to, for example, Morocco or Egypt, then there's certain requirements that will delay that. It becomes a problem. And then I think the transportation or logistics in particular, we just need to have a central area to move around. Whether in the future, 100 years to come, maybe we'll have a train from here to Nigeria to wherever. It will be good because it can't be all the time Dubai and then you want to go to Morocco, you have to go to Dubai first and come back down there. It becomes inconvenient. So I think, look, we are big people, we're a big number. I was actually not even aware of that. I thought maybe we're less than that. Looking at that number, I think Africa can stand on its own. So it's all about welcoming each other, make sure that our constitution accept all these kind of things. Our government, our politicians try to forge their way up to ensure that we all work together. I think Pastor Dada can speak the whole day. I think we hear all these politicians talk about EFF, what their vision, but it has to be something that they really look into it because of infrastructure. Less infrastructure, you cannot put a heavy load on one area and then the other one's empty. So we just have to spread the resources. The whole Africa must spread. There must be another Johannesburg in Zimbabwe. There must be another Johannesburg in Kenya. Then we're able to spread, and that should be easier for everyone to work and be free in the continent.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. Because see, there's a lot of CEOs that are coming together who are trying to do big things in Africa, and with the CEOs, it will be easy for Africa to actually have intertrade, do business among themselves, liberate Africa, because that's the agenda. That's what they are trying to push. If you are pushing to do a collaboration in Africa, which countries would you want to go to, and in which industry would you want to do collaborations in Africa?
I never thought of that though. Kenya is a beautiful country.
You spoke about Zambia.
I spoke of Zambia, obviously. Yeah, they're pushing a lot of infrastructure in that country. I think the current president forgot.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
He's doing well. So that's interesting. Needs lots of support. So if ever we were to trade together, I think that would be interesting enough. Ethiopia as well. I see their airways is beautiful. It's doing well. It's uniting Africa.
Good.
Look. Now I saw Hamilton on TV. I think it was speaking about Africa hosting the race F1 Formula 1.
Yes.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. It's going to increase. I think our GDP is going to just grow big time. So at this stage, I think for me, Zambia. I've never been to Nigeria. I'd love to see that as well.
Okay.
And experience. I don't know what the up to at this currently.
Okay.
But definitely it's for us. And funny enough, we don't travel a lot, some of us. So we stuck in South Africa. I don't know for some reason. So we need to open up and start moving up, because that thing never been a question to us. It was like, okay, I'm fine here. But now because you want to expand, I think you just have to start traveling. But at this stage, Zambia is my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Justice, for this time. Thank you. We're truly grateful.